Hey everyone, welcome back to the Book Jelly podcast. This is Amitesh. So I've been reading a lot and I just finished three books that honestly left me rattled in a good way. The kind of rattled where you keep thinking about what you read days after you have turned the last page. The three books are A Moveable Feast by Ernest Hemingway, Factotum by Charles Bukowski, and Knife by Salman Rushdie. Now, at first glance, these books seem totally different. Different eras, different continents, different temperaments. But here's what struck me. They're all about survival. Creative survival, emotional survival, and physical survival. And they all come from men who lived a kind of chaos, rode through it, and left us with brutally honest portraits of themselves. So today I'm diving into these three books, not just to review them, but to reflect on the men behind them and what it means to put your pain, your pride, and your paranoia into print. Let's start with A Moveable Feast, Hemingway's love letter to 1920s Paris, or maybe a breakup letter, depends on how you read it. Uh, this is Hemingway looking back at his early years as a struggling writer, broke but happy, hungry but okay, still hungry, but kind of invincible in that youthful, starving artist kind of a way. This book is a posthumous memoir of his early years in 1920s Paris when he was young, broke, and unknown, but determined to make writing his life. You get glimpses of Gertrude Stein, Scott Fitzgerald, and cafes where nobody orders food, just endless wine. And Paris back then wasn't just a city, it was a mindset. It was Gertrude Stein's salon, it was cafe waiters who judge your order, it was cold apartments and warmer dreams. And through it all, Hemingway scribbled in his notebooks like it was the only thing that was keeping him alive. One of the lines that hit me, probably hit every reader, is this one. Uh, if you're lucky enough to have lived in Paris as a young man, then wherever you go for the rest of your life, it stays with you. You feel the nostalgia oozing out of that sentence. A Movable Feast is not a sentimental book. It's about being young, being in love, believing that writing can save you. Speaking of writing, it's sharp, sometimes cold. Hemingway takes small emotional moments and distills them with unnerving precision. His falling out with friends like Gertrude Stein or Scott Fitzgerald isn't delivered with drama, it's delivered with a few well placed sentences that hit you very hard. But what really stayed with me was the sadness, the unspoken regret. You can feel the guilt about how things ended with Hedley, Hemingway's first wife. You can sense how he's mourning a version of himself that he knows he will never be again. And yet, there is this love for the craft of writing, love for the life he was building, love for a version of Paris that maybe never even existed the way he remembered it. Reading A Movable Feast is like reading the diary of someone who knew they peaked in a moment they could not hold on to. And that is beautiful. So, from Hemingway's Paris, I nosedived straight into the slums of Bukowski's world. And let me tell you, the whiplash was real. Factotum is Bukowski doing what he does best, writing about how much he hates life but cannot stop observing it. The book follows Henry Chinaski, his literary alter ego, as he hops from one dead end job to another, one drunken night to the next, one bed to the next, always broke, always bitter, and always writing. Well, sort of. If Hemingway romanticized poverty, Bukowski strips it naked and lights a cigarette while watching it score. The world his alter ego Chinaski lives in is grimy, bleak, and it teems with often ridiculous characters. But it's never fake. There is no grand revelation, no plot arc, no redemptive ending, and that's the point. There is this brutal line in the book: I had nothing to do, and I did it. That's the energy of Factotum. It's the life of a man who has no illusions left. Not about success, not about love, not even about himself. It's strangely comforting in a world where everyone's pretending to have a 5-year plan. Bukowski does not pretend. He is not here to inspire you. He's here to show you that not everyone climbs out of the pit. Some guys stay in it, drink cheap whiskey, write about it, and make you laugh while they do. There's something admirable about that. You know, no varnish, just raw wood. You can feel how Factotum was written by a guy who knew rejection like a sibling, who knew the stink of sweat from cleaning toilets and also the strange freedom of not caring anymore. Bukowski's voice is blunt, it's crude, and it's often repulsive. But at the same time, it's brutally honest. To cut the long story short, Charles Bukowski is not for everyone. But if you have ever looked around and thought, is this it? He's your guy. And then came Salman Rushdie. Now, this was a whole different beast. This was a book written after a knife sliced through not just his body, but his life. Salman Rushdie's knife is personal in a way most memoirs never get. This is Salman Rushdie processing the real-life attack on him 2022, an attack that almost killed him. Knife is not just a survival story, it's a man trying to understand hatred, trying to make sense of violence, trying to reclaim his body, his voice, and his narrative, after someone literally tried to silence him. It is also Rushdie, the writer, grappling with something strange, being turned into a symbol for free speech, for artistic courage, for resistance, but all he wanted really was to keep writing books. One line that hit me hard, he says, "He came to kill the writer, but I, the writer, lived, and so I write." That right there is the entire spirit of the book. The best part about Knife is that it does not read like a victim's account. It reads like a fighter's reflection, and not the kind of fighter who punches back, but one who looks his attacker in the eye and asks, "What the hell made you this way?" It's raw. He talks about the pain, the surgeries, the limitations, talks about the fear, and he also talks about love. His partner who helped him through recovery, the friendships that held him up, the stubborn desire to write again. Knife is not a perfect book. It's messy. It jumps timelines. It sometimes over-explains, but I think that's the point. This isn't performative literature. This is defined literature. Reading Knife after Factotum and A Moveable Feast made me realize something. All three books are memoirs in disguise. All three are about the cost of being a writer. Just that, for Rushdie, the cost became literal. Alright, that's it for this episode. If you've read any of these three books, or if you plan to, drop me a message or tag me on socials. I would love to hear your take. And if you like this format where I unpack a few books together in one episode, let me know. I've got more lined up. Maybe next time we'll talk about some women who write with the same fire, maybe even more. Until then, read well. Catch you soon.